What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be doing another tonneau cover review, but this time it's going to be on a 2019 Ford F250. And the tonneau cover that I picked up for this truck is going to be a Tyger brand Trifold cover. But before we get into the new tonneau cover that I just picked up, let me quickly show you what I have on the truck now and why I'm going to be replacing it. Now, if you look over here, this is the factory soft roll-up tonneau cover that came with the truck. This is a Ford brand tonneau cover. Now, the previous owner that had this truck said that this was the original tonneau cover when he bought the truck. So I assume it's a good few years old. Now, this truck already has some staining up here that I've tried to get out and I can't get it out. So that's one of the reasons that I want to replace the tonneau cover, is just to get something that looks a little bit nicer. The primary reason for getting rid of this tonneau cover is because the Velcro on the sides is not sticking very well anymore. It's very loose, and when I'm driving down the highway, this starts to flap around like this on the sides. It does it over here as well. Okay, if I just get my finger up under here. If you look over here, the actual Velcro here is starting to get really frayed, and the bottom portion here is just not sticking anymore. Now, I know you could probably go ahead and buy new Velcro to put on here, but that's only going to really help with the bottom channel right here. You're not going to want to get involved with sewing any new Velcro on the top portion here, because if this top portion here is what's going bad, that's going to be pretty hard to replace. So again, I didn't want to keep driving down the highway and having this side flopping around, because if you get enough wind that gets under there, it could either tear it or cause other problems. So that's really my main reason for getting rid of this tonneau cover and replacing it with a new one. Now, that leads me to the next discussion. Why did I choose a trifold cover over a roll-up? Now, I'll be honest, I bounce around back and forth between roll-up tonneau covers and trifold tonneau covers because they both have pros and cons. The pros to a roll-up tonneau cover is that you could easily roll it all the way up to the cab, strap it in, and have full access to your bed. However, the con is that you're dealing with Velcro sides, that if that Velcro ever lets loose, you're not gonna have a whole lot of stability holding that tonneau cover on. Plus, it's not very good for security because anybody could just lift this up and reach in there and grab anything out of your bed. Now, when you're comparing this to a trifold tonneau cover, there's pros and cons to that. So the pros to a trifold tonneau cover is going to be, number one, convenience, because you could just easily flop it over to get in and out without hassling with rolling it. So there is a convenience factor in a trifold. There's also a security factor on a trifold because there's no Velcro up the side. It's a sealed side, so you're really not going to be able to easily just enter into the side of the truck unless you're actually cutting through the tarp. So there is a security factor to a trifold tonneau cover. But the con to a trifold tonneau cover is that when you fold it back, it's going to stop about here, about a third of the way, and that means you're not going to get full access to your bed. You can put stuff under it, but if you're hauling any kind of big furniture, you're not going to have full access to your bed. So to have full access to your bed, you're going to have to loosen the brackets on both sides and remove the whole trifold cover to get full access, which I will say is not hard to do. It's very simple and easy. Now, yes, you can get more expensive trifold covers that have like little shocks that when you get to this point here, the whole trifold area right here can flip up against the back of your cab, giving you full access to your bed. But then if you're driving that way, you're not going to be able to see out the rear of your cab. So again, there are pros and cons to all of these tonneau covers. It really just depends on how much do you want to pay and what pros versus what cons are most important to you. But for me on this truck, I'm going to be getting rid of the roll-up tonneau cover and I'm going to be trying out a trifold again. And the trifold tonneau cover that I went with is the Tyger brand. I've had this brand before on the roll-up tonneau covers. So let me go ahead and first take off that tonneau cover, and then we're gonna unbox this and we're gonna put this on that truck, and then I'll show you how it's done. Okay, so I went ahead and I removed the soft roll-up tonneau cover that was on my truck, and I went ahead and opened up the box to get the Tyger trifold tonneau cover out. Now keep in mind, the box for the trifold is going to be a little larger because the trifold is typically a one-piece unit. So let me go ahead and untie that. I'm gonna pull it out and set it on the truck, and we'll get this installed real quick and easy. Okay, so when you get your tonneau cover taken out of the box and you get all of the little foam and tape taken off, this is what it's going to look like. So it's going to come strapped in one complete unit. These brackets right here are what you're going to use to mount under the rails closest to the cab. These straps right here are just security straps that you hook under the side rail and tighten down as well. So when you're dealing with a trifold, they are very, very easy to install. You're literally just going to take this, set it into position, lock it down on both sides, unfold it, make sure it's kind of even on both sides. It's that simple and easy. But before you do that, I just wanted to point out there is an instruction manual, so if you want to read that, you can. And there is some weather stripping here, which has some self-adhesive backing on it. You're going to need that if you're up here, right here. So if you happen to have side caps like I do, and you can see there's a little bit of a gap from right here to here, you see that little gap? That's when you're going to want to put that stripping along the side here to create a flush, even surface to really help seal that off better. So all you need to do is get a pair of scissors or a utility knife, start sticking that weather stripping down, cut off the excess at the end, and then we can lay the tonneau cover right on and strap it down. Okay, so I went ahead and I just installed the weather stripping here across the top cap of the bed closest to the cab here. So now all I have to do is take the tonneau cover, set it in place, and make sure I kind of adjust it side to side to make sure it's lined up, and then we're just going to bracket it down. Okay, so we set the tonneau cover in place, and what I did was I always like to line the middle portion up here to the very edge of the top rail here. Now, depending on the shape of your bed, you might see a little bit showing right here, and you might see a little bit showing right here, because again, keep in mind your bed might have a slight bow to it. So again, I always go by the center point here, make sure that's flush. Then I look at the sides. So over here, you see this little perforated area right here on my top cap, and then I have this flat portion right here in the middle. So I use that as a gauge so that I know my tonneau cover comes up to that point there. If I come over here, here's that perforated section. I have this gap here. Now I have a little more perforation showing here, so I might shift this a little bit to the right, just a little bit. But once you shift it into place, you want to come underneath and start with one of your brackets, which I did. You're just gonna take the bracket, line it up underneath the lip of your truck, tighten it down. Now don't go super tight right now because we're still making a few adjustments. I would not put your safety strap in there yet either. Just gently tighten down this bracket right here on both sides as I did right there. Then you're gonna come above, unbuckle your brackets, fold the tonneau cover out, just like this, okay? The next thing you want to do is take one of your lockdown brackets and flip it up just like this on both sides. And again, we're still in the test fitting phase, so we're not fully strapping anything down yet. Now, based on your preference, these brackets are adjustable in a few different settings. So they usually come with the furthest setting closer to the outer edge, but if you want to adjust it to the middle, you can. All you have to do is loosen the bolt over here on that side right over there, and this whole bracket will pop out, and then you just push it over to this side over here, put the pin through, bolt it back down. But I'm gonna leave it like that for now. So now we're gonna fold this down. What you're going to do is take your bracket here and you're going to swivel it down. If it's too high, you're just going to spin it counterclockwise to loosen it, and that'll drop it down lower. Now you don't want to drop it down too low, because once you unlatch it like this, once you lift the bracket up and pull it down, it locks under that lip right here, but that's too loose. So again, you're just making minor adjustments, spinning it clockwise or counterclockwise to get it into a position to where you can lock it down and it's pretty sturdy. So again, let's go do this side over here. Same thing, unlock it first, comes down below, too loose. So we're gonna pull it out and we're gonna tighten it. All you're doing is spinning it clockwise or counterclockwise, and that's moving this handle up or down the post. So right now I'm tightening it, and then we'll try it again. Still too loose. So again, you're just making adjustments until you like how tight it is. All right, that feels pretty good there. So what you want to do is make sure your little foam corner pad here is kind of lined up at the corner and not like hanging over the outer edge. And the same thing over here. It's okay to have that foam pad hanging over the side a little bit. You just don't want it hanging out the back. Now, again, you can make a few adjustments to how you want it lined up. So what I should probably do is loosen this, okay? And then I'm gonna shift my tonneau cover at the back to the left a little bit so that when I close it, I have less pad hanging out over the edge there. And then I'll compare it to this one over here. About right there. Okay, so again, that's why you leave those clamps way at the front a little loose so that when you're in the back, you can make a few minor adjustments to get it in the position you want. Once you have it in position, take your handles, fold them back into these little locking grooves so that they're kind of flat and flush. Do that on both sides, because what happens is when you're at this point here and you fold it back again, you don't want those brackets damaging the back part of your tonneau cover. So go ahead and fold it one more time. Okay, now it's pretty much in the position I want. Now I can go back under, tighten both of those brackets. So if we come underneath, we're gonna just tighten this down a little tighter. Okay, you don't wanna go crazy. And then you're gonna take your security strap and strap it in back here. Okay? And the purpose of the security strap is more for if this strap should ever fail, you have a security backup strap that holds it in place. So just go ahead and tighten that down. Just like that. Now let's go to this side. Okay, tighten it down a little bit more. Again, you can adjust how tight you want it. It's really up to you. Again, I use old school measurement. I'll take my finger and I measure it down to the crease right here, that post, and then I'll measure that on the other side, just so I make sure both sides are fairly equal in terms of how tight they are. But that's pretty close there. So again, you're gonna take your strap. Again, it's adjustable. Pull the strap to the back, over your rail, and then tighten that down. Okay, just like that. Now it's nice and tight. Now, if you look here, so you have your foam pad right there that we stuck on, and then here's the foam pad from the tonneau cover. So now they're meeting up nice and even. So now we have a nice seal right there. Now real quick, I just wanted to point out, the kit does come with clamp pads if you want to use them. So if you don't have any top rails here or any kind of spray-in bed liner and you just have factory paint, you could use these pads to stick there so that those clamps are not gouging up your paint. So it does come with that. It also comes with spacers if you need or want to use them. The spacers would be basically on those clamps, and it shows you like a picture right here. So on the left here is pretty much how I mounted it. But if you wanted to use spacers, that's up to you. It's really preference. I didn't need them, so I'm not worried about those. But now that everything's lined up and strapped in, we're good to go. So now take this, unfold it like that. We're gonna come down below, take our bracket, fold it down, unlatch it, latch it underneath the lip, lock it down. Same over here. Take your bracket, pull it down, unlatch it, latch it under the lip, lock it down. Then lift your tailgate up. Everything's nice and sealed. So now you have this nice, sleek, smooth looking tonneau cover. It does have some bracket bows in the center, so it keeps the water running off the sides. So it has those. There's like one right here. I can't really show it to you. If you kind of look at it, you can sort of see the bow right there. And then there's one right here, and then one right there. So it actually has 4 supports across this bed, which is really nice. So that's it. That's how simple it is. Now, when you want to use it, lower your tailgate, take your bracket, loosen it up, take your bracket, loosen it up, fold your tonneau cover back. That's it. If you want to travel, just go ahead and fold your little brackets, locking them down in position, fold it up the next way, take your adjustment straps, clip them in. You can use your little strap here, pull it a little bit tighter, just like that. Do the same on the other side, and now you can drive that way. But this is what I was referencing before. The only con I would say trifolds have is that when they're strapped back, they take up about a third of your bed. But if you ever need to use the full bed, all you have to do is go underneath, loosen those two brackets underneath, and just lift the whole thing off, and then you have full access to your bed. But for me personally, I don't really run into that many occasions where I need the full bed. I do once in a while, but not on a regular basis, so I don't mind the trifold taking up about a third of the bed because I don't use it all on a regular basis. For me, in the use of my bed, I'm using this area here all the time, so a trifold comes in a lot more handy. Plus, I like the fact that it's very easy to use with one hand, just like that. On a roll-up tonneau cover, you have to be careful when you're rolling it up, because if you're rolling it up and it ends up rolling up sort of on an angle, it's not going to line up. So you have to kind of go back and forth on a roll-up to roll it up evenly to the back. On a trifold, super simple, very easy to use. Again, it has a little bit of branding here, this little rubber stick-on branding on the back. The stitching looks real good. The quality of the vinyl is really good. Looks nice and sleek. Really like it. And now I don't have to worry about anybody getting in from the side or the wind when driving down the highway flapping along the sides, because this is a fully enclosed one-piece unit. But if you have your truck locked, no one can really get in here easily without cutting through the tonneau cover. So in terms of security, the trifold tonneau covers are going to be better than a roll-up tonneau cover. So really, at the end of the day, you can't go wrong with either tonneau cover. They're both great. It's really personal preference in how you use your truck. But for me, being that I don't use the full bed on a regular basis and I value having convenience and security, I like the trifold tonneau cover. If you use your full bed on a regular basis, then you might want to consider the roll-up tonneau cover. So if you happen to be looking for a soft top trifold tonneau cover and you don't want to spend a ton of money, I highly, highly recommend the Tyger brand soft trifold tonneau cover for your truck. Okay, everybody, so we're all done. So we went ahead and we got the Tyger brand soft trifold tonneau cover installed on my 2019 F250. Installation, super simple and easy. Quality, superb. It's a great quality trifold tonneau cover. I really like the easy fold down brackets in the back for getting in and out of the tonneau cover. Those are awesome. And this is just a high quality, soft trifold tonneau cover that's made of high quality materials. It works great. It's super simple and easy to install, and it comes in at a great value. So if any of you out there are looking for a trifold tonneau cover for your truck and you value quality, convenience, and value, I definitely recommend checking out the Tyger brand tonneau covers. But that's going to be it for today's video. I hope this video helps some of you out. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button and like this video. If you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the comments section and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And also do me a favor, subscribe to the channel because it definitely helps me out and I greatly appreciate it. So that's it. I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you. Thank you. I truly appreciate all of your support. And as always, see you in the next video.